So, welcome everybody to another week of the Phi Kappa Sigma Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Bay, here with Dylan and PJ, who need no introduction.
That's right.
So, let's start it off right away with a segment that we're going to be doing every week, Bears versus Packers. Obviously, the Bears didn't play today, so we'll have to recap their game on next week's podcast. So, we'll be all Packers today. PJ, what do you see from the Pack?
Wow. All right. It's as simple as this. This might have been the most embarrassing win in NFL history. You're playing the 31st worst defense in the league, and you're playing against a no-name quarterback, Jake Luton. Who the fuck is that? I don't know. You don't know. And you guys won by 4 points with the third best offense in the league. I don't get it. The run game was stopped by an atrocious defensive line. Aaron Jones looked like he kind of forgot how to play football. Devontae, he was all right, but when Rodgers doesn't have Devontae, his passing stats go down, and that's what happened today. And it's really that simple. 24-20, that's kind of ridiculous. I feel like the Packers, they're with the offense they have, they should have scored 50 today. That's about it.
All right, I'll come in here now. So yeah, I gotta agree. The Packers survived a bump in the road today. We got a W in terrible conditions. Rodgers continued his MVP race today with 3 touchdowns, 325 yards on a 70% clip. The defense stepped up when it needed to. But yeah, I would like to see more of a this game should not have been this close. We definitely overlooked them. But at the end of the day, we got the W, and we're still on top of the division.
Yeah.
Bigger news, though, coming out of Green Bay during this game. David Bakhtiari is now the NFL's highest paid lineman in NFL history. And I'm happy for that. He deserves it. And you got to keep good players around, and we are. $105 million over the next 4 years. I'm excited. I'm glad we did it.
Fair enough. I mean, in all honesty here, the defense was not as good as they should have been. 20 points against the Jaguars offense, who is featuring DJ Chark as their best receiver and probably best offensive player.
6 of those came on the punt return. I mean, that's not the defense's fault.
I get that, but that's terrible. And thanks for bringing that up. What an atrocious special teams unit. Wow, that was abysmal. Wow. Like everything on the Packers special teams is terrible. That's what's going to lose them the playoffs once they get there, because they'll get there. I know that. Don't get me wrong. That's what's going to lose them in the playoffs. You play a good defense, one special team error, it's done.
Yeah, I mean, 7 points in the second half. Man.
Yeah, offensively, we got to be better against a poor opponent. But I think you saw today that Rodgers can do it. He still got it. 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. That pick was terrible. I'll admit that was a terrible throw. But if you're looking at Rodgers' history, he doesn't make mistakes like that often. And I think we're going to be fine. We'll be fine. Next week we'll get back on track on offense and defense. I hope we see more games like this.
I really think those passing yards aren't true to how he really played. Yeah, he threw for a lot of passing yards, but Rodgers is struggling, and when his running unit doesn't show up, he struggles. It showed today. They only won by 4 points. Like, Rodgers should be throwing more to Devontae, getting more touchdowns. It's just crazy.
Well, you look at that. Devontae had a terrible game today. Coming off last week where he said he claimed to be the best wide receiver. He did not play like the best receiver in the NFL today. I believe he had 2 or 3 drops, and the fumble that really hurt. That fumble that led to 7 points. So I really wouldn't blame Rodgers for the game being as close as it was today. Yeah, he had the interception that was bad, but it didn't end up biting us. But Devontae's got to be better if we want to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly that. You're completely right, because Rodgers can't do anything anymore. He's just bad. He needs Devontae. That's what it comes down to, 100%. You're hit on the spot. Thank you. You're literally making points for me. I love it. Oh, my gosh. This is great. Wow. All right. Well, while I'm here, let's talk about the Bears. Tomorrow night versus the Packers, I am guaranteeing blowout against the Vikings. It's easy. We'll win by 14+, no problem. Kirk Cousins can't play a good defense. Guaranteed 14+ victory. Guaranteed.
I hope you're not a betting man, PJ.
I am.
I would not take that. I'm feeling pretty confident for the Vikings. Last week I gave them a lot of love, and I hope they back me up this week and they play well and beat the Bears.
I'll tell you this much, and I'll tell you how I know I'm confident. It comes down to this: David Montgomery's out tomorrow night, and we just activated Lamar Miller off the practice squad. Lamar Miller he's gonna put on a show, on an absolute show against that Vikings defense. Oh my gosh, Justin Jefferson, he's that up and coming star. I'll give him that. He's been pretty good this year so far, and like on and off games here and there. He's gonna get shut down tomorrow night. Thielen's probably not gonna have a great game. And Dalvin Cook is going to struggle against a good defensive line. I cannot wait. 14-plus victory incoming, guaranteed.
I like the confidence there.
Yeah, one thing I got to give it to you, PJ. You got confidence.
Yes, sir.
I can't fault you for confidence. Sometimes that's going to come back and bite you. We'll let Monday night do the talking, I guess.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, the two things that I've looked at from both the Bears and the Packers perspective, we'll see when the Bears play Jacksonville. Hopefully Nick Foles will get it going. Hopefully David Montgomery will be back by then because it's in a couple weeks. So we'll see how they play, and then we can kind of go from there. And from the Packers perspective, I think one bright spot today that I saw personally was Marquez Valdez-Scantling finally step up as a number 2 receiver for their team. So we'll see how long that lasts too.
You got to take that with a grain of salt against the Jags defense that is, like I said, the 31st worst in the league. They're bottom of the league. There's one other defense worse than them. Like
I like to go back to Nathan's point about MVS. That was a very good thing today. You also go back to against the 49ers, had a long touchdown. So he is starting to step up a little bit, and let's hope that continues in Green Bay.
Yep, definitely. So we'll obviously come back to the Bears-Packers again next week as we do. But we're starting with a new segment this week that we like to call the WTFW, which is the what the fuck of the week. These can be memorable moments, happy moments, sad moments, just anything that really stood out to you in the course of week 10. So Dylan, we'll start with you. What is your WTFW?
This one hurts me a little bit, but I got to exploit it. My man, J.K. Scott. I'm going to show you a quick clip today. It's on the punt return that the Jacksonville Jaguars scored a touchdown on. What are you doing? Oh, my.
That is upsetting. Very upsetting. He got scared. Wow. How old is he, Dylan? He's probably a younger guy, right? He's not too old, right?
Yeah, third or fourth year in the league.
Yeah, exactly. The man should be able to make a hit. Wow, that is upsetting.
I hate showing my team look bad, but that was inexcusable, and it looked worse live during the game. I will say that. Yikes, JK.
That is scary. To go on to mine here, I'm as a betting man, as Dylan pointed out earlier, I had to put it on, my buddy Nick Chubb. Wow, Georgia running backs, they like blowing this shit for bettors. It's bad. -4 spread. They win 10-7 because he steps out on the 3. What are the Browns doing? As a gambling man, that upsets me the most. Wow. I didn't personally put money on that, but I feel for all the, the spread bettors there. That is
the fantasy owners too.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb owners.
Nick Chubb owners are not happy. They're punching the air right now. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I mean, Nick Chubb still put up a nice game for his return, so you got to be okay with it. But it would suck if you were in a close game like that. Even though it's very stereotypical, the D-Hop catch, unbelievable. I mean,
that was unbelievable. Wow.
That play buried me in my fantasy matchup this week. I have been playing against Kyler and D-Hop.
Oh.
That was an 18-point play for them too, and that's ultimately going to be the difference for me.
I'd also like to bring up Rojo real quick. Wow. What a comeback. Fumbles, second snap of the game, 98-yard touchdown run. He had a career game. He's on my fantasy team, so we like that. Wow, that was good for him. He showed that he is the number 1 running back this week. Leonard Fournette, I think he had 10 snaps for 30 yards. That's kind of pathetic with the
just
team.
Just the trust that Arians showed in him. Fumbles back-to-back week. He fumbled last week too, and he just stuck with him. And I think he's taking over the number 1 duties there.
Yeah, he is. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, he was in Tom Brady's doghouse, it seemed like, for a little bit, but now it seems like he's back out, which is definitely good news for Rojo owners down the stretch.
Yes, for sure.
So now we'll go on to our next segment, which will be top 10 power rankings from each of you guys. What you've seen from this week, looking at who could be contenders, possibly going down the road. What did you see from your top 10 teams? PJ, let's start out with you.
All right. Starting at 10, I am taking the Bucks. They had a good week this week. They weren't playing that good of a defense. I'll give them that. I'm still not confident in Brady, old man Brady, that much, but he does land a spot in the top 10 because their offense is pretty good. Antonio Brown is now playing more. He's looking like he's not going to be a big option, but he'll be there. Receiving core is good. Levante David's good, but I don't think they're top 10 or any more than 10th place. Yeah.
All right, Dylan, what you got for your 10th team?
I got the Rams coming at 10th today. Beat a good Seahawks team, and I think they're top 10 team. You got a good defense over there. Donald leading them, Ramsey. They held Russell in check mostly today. I like what I saw from the Rams. I got the Bucs a bit higher on my list than PJ does.
I understand that. I just don't trust old quarterbacks. Old quarterbacks scare me.
I think the way you saw Brady play today with his weapons, I think you got to be scared. The first time Godwin, Mike Evans have been healthy together.
You gotta. I mean, what? They're playing a bad defense today. I mean, yes, they did put on a show. I'll give them that. Brady looked good. He was playing well. I think he had 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. He looked really well contained, but I don't know if he can carry this on.
This same Carolina team last week gave the Chiefs all they could handle.
They did.
You got to take that into effect too.
This Carolina team last week had Christian McCaffrey. You have to
keep
that in mind.
They also had a healthy McCaffrey. But I agree with Dylan. I had the Bucs a little bit higher on my list. My 10, kind of a wild card here. The Arizona Cardinals. They've kind of impressed me, winning 3 out of the last 4. We'll see how they turn out to be, leading the NFC West right now.
I think they're a little too young right now. I think they need time to improve. But
yeah, I think they're probably a year or 2 away. But I like them a lot. Kyler's fun to watch. PJ, what you got for number 9?
For number 9, continuing the trend with me not liking old men quarterbacks, I have the Green Bay Packers. Wow. Rodgers looked bad today. The offense looked bad today. I mean, the defense, it's really not that good. They've proven, the Jacksonville proved today that they can score with a shitty offense on the Packers and keep it close. That scares me. They are 9.
All right, Dylan.
I'm just going to ignore the fact that was even said. I got the Colts at 9th. They had a good win on Thursday against the Titans. Good defensive victory for them. Rivers, top 300 yards. Naheem Hines is slippery. That dude is a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Colts at 9. They slowly moving up my rankings.
Yeah, I understand that. Fair enough. Moving on to 8, or Nathan, you got yours?
Yep, I got Tennessee at 9. I think they're a solid team. PJ's Super Bowl prediction out there. They did lose. Indianapolis played a tough game, but they've had some good wins this year. Tannehill has been iffy, but I like their offense to carry them a little bit in the playoffs.
All right. Well, okay, you have the Titans a little bit low there. Not too low, but you have them a little bit low. Tannehill had one off game. It's a fluke game is what it was. We'll get to that later. I know we will, but wow.
Henry stopped too. The Colts held
Derrick Henry. When Derrick Henry can't get in the end zone, that's a problem because that doesn't open up the passing game. He rushed for a decent amount of yards, but he can't get in the end zone. The passing game's not going to be open. A.J. Brown struggled.
I'll go in here. I actually had the Titans at 8th, so one slot ahead of Nathan. I like what I see from them. The Colts are just another good team, and I'm not taking too much of a loss. Tannehill's still good. Henry's still good. I still like this team a lot.
Yeah. PJ, what you got at 8?
All right, coming in at 8, I have the Chicago Bears, and we've seen it before, and they're going to win tomorrow night. That's given. We know that. So they're going to move to 6-4. We're closing on the top of the division. We haven't played the Packers yet, and that's going to be the deciding factor. And we know defense wins championships. It's been proven in the past. We are good. We're better than the Packers. Factual at this point. Packers still a fraudulent team. Keep that in mind. Fraudulent is for sure. The only reason they're not higher is I don't know how I feel about Nick Foles right now. He's been a little iffy, but other than that, I think we're good. David Montgomery hurt this coming week, but he should come back, and hopefully the offensive line can get a little bit better. But yeah, we're sticking at 8.
All right. At my number 8, I've got the Colts. So me and Dylan kind of flip-flopped there. I just have them ranked over Tennessee just because they kind of manhandled them on Thursday. We'll see if that holds up, if they're the better team. I'm not really sure. I think that division's a toss-up right now, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I agree with Nathan there. I had the Colts at 9, Titans at 8, like you said. Let's get to PJ, though. The Bears, you're going to really put the Bears ahead of the Packers.
Dilly, we haven't played each other yet. And from what I know, defense wins championships. The Packers are a fraudulent team. And what we know is old man Rodgers probably
your defense is not that much better based on points allowed this year.
You watch
the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, on Thanksgiving, when we shut down Aaron Jones because you guys get stopped, Rodgers will struggle because he can't pass the ball all the time like he used to. Is what it comes down to. He needs that run game to open up the pass game. That's what it is.
At this point, I don't even know what to say because he doesn't understand. I'll wait till Thanksgiving to get into this matchup. We can move on.
The Packers play the 31st worst defense in the league with the Jags defense.
And we won.
You won by 4. You won by 4. You're going to play any better defense, you're not winning. It's just there's no way. The Bears are so much better than the Jags defense. It's not even it's unmatched.
But your offense is not much better than theirs.
It doesn't matter.
Frankly, not.
That's the difference in that game is the defense. 100%.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see you on Thanksgiving.
We will.
All right. Dylan, back over to you. Who do you have at 7?
I got the Buffalo Bills at 7. Josh Allen, he's playing well. Diggs, he's got a number 1 receiver over there. A freak play today, end of their win streak. They really should have won that game. I thought Hopkins, credit to him for making a great play. Otherwise, Allen looked great in that 2-minute drill, lead him down the field. He looked poised. I like what I saw from the Bills today.
I think you have the Bills a little high. I had the Bills in my honorable mention. I think their defense is their problem, and Josh Allen is good. Don't get me wrong. I'll give you that. He did look good, 100%, and they did lose on a freak play today. That just comes down to DeAndre Hopkins being top 3 receiver in the league. That's going to happen. But defense, I'm preaching defense. That's just what it is. Defense is everything. They can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball either. I don't see how they go much further. Josh Allen looks good, but they need probably 3-4 more years to get everything set in stone. Devin Singletary is not very good. If Zach Moss is getting more carries than you, that's a problem.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from their defense today. I mean, they held the Arizona Cardinals in check for about 2.5 quarters. I mean, if they had a few chances to make interceptions there in the last goal, late in the fourth quarter, a couple dropped interceptions, but I understand.
Yeah, the Bills also had a couple players out due to COVID. Some of them were defensive pieces like Josh Norman, who's a pretty big playmaker on their team. I also had Buffalo at 7 just because of their passing offense. I think it's Josh Allen is just putting up such great numbers, and Stephon Diggs has really proven himself as a true bona fide number 1 receiver now that he's away from Minnesota. So I like him a lot. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender quite yet, but I do like them, and they're definitely fun to watch.
They're a fringe playoff team in my mind, but I understand what you're saying for sure.
Yep.
Oh, they're gonna they're making the playoffs easy. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see.
All right, PJ, who do you got at 6?
At 6? I have it at 7. I gotta go through my 7. Sorry. At 7, I have the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers, old man, so it couldn't be higher. But let me tell you, great team, great defense, phenomenal defense. They look good against my Titans, but I do think that was a little bit of a fluke game. Not gonna lie, I just don't see how their passing offense is gonna maintain. Nyheim Hines looked good. Jonathan Taylor needs to figure out his role. Love JT, but he's got to figure out what his role is in that offense. He can't figure it out right now. I mean, Phillip Rivers, he's been known in the past to have some iffy games here and there. So I don't know. We'll see. Is what we'll see. We'll see. Sorry.
Yep, Indy's definitely a good team. I like their defense a lot. See how it goes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so back over to Dylan for your number 6.
I got the Ravens at 6. Started out pretty high on my board start of the year. Slowly been falling. Right now, currently losing to a under 500 Patriots team on Sunday night. I think the question is just that offense. They lead the league in rushing, but they are 31st in passing. And in a passing league, I'm not sure if you can win playoff games with a well below average passing offense. I like Lamar, but at the end of the day, I don't know if you can trust him to win the big one. And he needs some help on offense. He doesn't got a lot of playmakers on the outside. Andrews is solid at tight end. But Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, is not a number 1 receiver. They just need to get him some help, and I think they'll be all right. But they're at 6. That defense is dirty. It's a good defense. Still a good team, though.
I get that. It's a good call. I have the Titans at 6. Tannehill had a fluke game. Unfortunate. What it comes down to is Derrick Henry needs to get in the end zone more. I mean, he did run a lot, but that running game opens up the passing offense for him. That's where it's at. One bad game. It is what it is. Nathan, go ahead.
Yep. I mean, PJ, you're probably not going to like me for this very much, but I have the Packers at 6 right now, and Dylan will probably like me for that. But we're supposed to be objective here, and as a Bears fan, I think the Packers are deserving of a top 6 ranking right now, sitting at 7 wins. I just like the way Devonta Adams plays, and I think their defense is going to step it up. I trust their front 7 to kind of put some pressure on teams when it mattered, just like they did today. Even though it was an ugly win, it was still a win. And teams figure out how to kind of win in close games. That's definitely a big thing going into playoff time. So that's what I've got. Not sure if they're legit or not, but we'll see.
Quick thing, talking about the Ravens real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they did just sign Des Bryant. Is that correct?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, he was activated last week.
So obviously, he's an older receiver, so who knows how much he'll really help. But I do think that is very good for Marquise Hollywood Brown. That'll be good for him. He'll learn a lot from an all-time best wide receiver. That's good signing by them.
Yeah, definitely.
I think all-time best a little high with that one. That's a little bit. That's a lot of love for him.
All-time Cowboys wide receiver. There we go. Okay. Is that a little bit better?
That's better.
And also, we hopping into 5 real quick. I do have the Ravens at 5, but if they lose tonight, I'm definitely would have put the Titans higher than the Ravens. They're up there, but losing to the Patriots, that is not a good look. We'll see. The Ravens, though, they have a good record this year. I mean, they're struggling at running back a little bit. Passing offense is a little subpar. We'll see. Lamar can do better. He's not looking like he was last year, but I think they need to figure some stuff out with the scheme, and they'll be on their way to the playoffs.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I had the Ravens at 6. I got the Packers at 5. Like Nathan said, we're 7-2. We're sitting on top of the NFC North. And you made a big deal about the game today. You also got to remember on defense, we were without Jair and Kevin King. Those are 2 pretty big pieces defensively, and we're only getting healthier. We got Kirksey back today, the middle linebacker. I'm not sure how I feel about him yet, but he is better than Oren Burks. Anybody is better than Oren Burks at this point. But I really like where the Packers are. I think our run game will get going. I'm not too worried about it.
I don't think so.
And like Nathan said about winning, knowing how to win the playoffs, Rodgers has been there. He's won the big one. He's been in numerous playoff games. He's been behind. He's been ahead. I think this team will figure it out and make a run in the playoffs. I got them at 5.
All right, PJ, what you got?
Wait, no, what do you have? I just got my 5. I said Ravens. Sorry.
Wait, my 5. I got Tampa Bay. I like how their offenses look. I know PJ doesn't like that because he doesn't like old man Brady, but I like old man Brady. I know it's high. I think after last game, I heard a lot of announcers say Brady never has 2 bad games in a row, and they were proven right. He didn't have another bad game. Played really well today. First time we got to see all their three receivers healthy. I did like the way AB looked. Brady and him kind of had that chemistry going back to last year. So I really think they can make noise. We'll see what happens there.
I think that is a good point. Quick thing about the Bucs, I did like how they're starting to get the tight ends more involved. Braid and Gronk both had touchdowns today. Good for them. That's like a big weapon they haven't been using as much. Gronk hasn't been that good this year until the past few weeks, so I'm glad to see that. That might move him up next week. Right. And then running into four here. For four, I got the Seahawks. Woo. Again, tough loss today for sure. Seahawks, wow. Seahawks are good. DK Metcalf is a certified number one receiver. He is very good. Chris Carson, I believe, was hurt, correct?
Yeah, he didn't play today.
So he comes back. He looks good. Russ is still your MVP. I think the Seahawks they're going to win their division, no problem. They're very good. I think the defense has a little bit to work on, but I think they'll go far.
All right, Dylan.
I got the Saints at 4. They gave it to the Buccaneers last week on Sunday night. They looked good. Today, a little bit slow starting. Drew Brees getting hurt, that does worry me. Not sure how severe that is, but they did end up surviving with Jameis. I like the Saints. Alvin Kamara's a beast. That defense is legit. They stopped the run. And they, like you said last week, Mike Thomas getting back, Emmanuel Sanders. Hopefully Brees is healthy. If he's not, I'm gonna have to definitely drop them down a few slots, maybe out of the top 10.
Yeah, it was nice to see Zach Ball and have that vicious hit on special teams. If you guys didn't see that, cool to see.
Nathan, what do you got for 4?
At number 4, I've got the Ravens. I think their defense carries them. I like them a lot. I think Lamar's going to step it up. He kind of has that revenge in his head from last week. I think he's going to kind of put the team on his back, put the offense on his back, get Mark Andrews looking like last year's form again. And I think they can make a run at it. The AFC North is tough, and they got to fend off the Steelers in a couple games. So we'll see how it goes. I think they get a wild card, but they could definitely make a run at it.
I like that a lot.
I want to go back to the Seahawks here. I left them out of my top 10.
What?
Russell Wilson.
MVP.
Okay.
MVP.
Wilson cannot be your leading rusher like he was today. I get Carson was out, but still, Chris Carson is not that good of a running back. He's replaceable. DK Metcalf, he's a good receiver.
Great.
Borderline probably top 10. That great receiver had 28 yards today. 28 yards.
They struggled today. It was a fluke game. That happens. We saw it with the Steelers last week. They almost lost to the Cowboys. Fluke games happen.
So, PJ, I'm going to assume you left the Rams out of your top 10, right?
Oh, 100%. Rams are garbage.
So that garbage team took it to your team today. Took it to the Seahawks today. Jared Goff took it to the Seahawks today.
Fluke games happen. It's bound to happen. It happens to almost every team once a season.
I'm not sold on this Seattle Seahawks team. We've seen it time and time again that defense is not good. And when Russell has to do everything, a good defense like the Rams, I put at 10, is enough to get by against this team.
Well, we'll talk about the West a little bit later, I'm sure. So let's move on.
Yep. All right. So top 3 time.
Top 3. This is I have my 2 and 3. I feel like they could be flip-flopped, but for me, number 3 is the Steelers. I think they are a very good team, and I mean they could be 2. We'll see. I don't think they're 1. Very good team. They have a tough schedule coming up here. Next week they should be pretty easy, but I mean they got to play the Ravens again. I believe they still have to play the Titans. They're gonna face some real challenges here. I don't know if Big Ben, again, old man quarterback, he has looked very good this year. But we'll see. He does have a lot of weapons. We like that. Claypool looked really good today. 2 TDs. Love to see that. Yeah.
Pittsburgh's definitely talented. Dylan, what you got for your number 3?
I got PJ hates them. I got the Bucs at 3.
Ooh.
I think you saw today what that offense is capable of. Ronald Jones got his, Godwin got his, Evans got his, and Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, when he's your fourth option on offense, that's pretty scary in my mind. Brate, Gronk. I don't know how you're gonna stop him, honestly.
What is
if
scary
you
is the
can,
locker room issue.
We'll see. Like I said last week, I think Brady, if there's anybody cure Antonio Brown, it's Tom Brady. But that defense is still legit. They stopped Carolina's run. Granted, they didn't have McCaffrey, but they pretty much forced Carolina to throw the ball, and Bridgewater did not do a great job today. DJ Moore, he had a solid game, but outside of DJ Moore, there wasn't much going on in Carolina today. I got the Buccaneers at 3.
Yeah, I've got New Orleans at 3. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. I just like the way their defense has been playing. Offense with Drew Brees, Kamara is obviously a beast up there, and probably the most talented running back, if not one of the most talented running backs in the league right now, along with Dalvin and others. So I just love the way they're playing. As long as Drew Brees can stay healthy and on the field, I think they're as good of a contender as anybody right now in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got them at 4.
Respectable.
100% agree.
Very respectable. Hop into 2 here. I have the Chiefs. Chiefs are very good. Patrick Mahomes is looking very good. We'll see what they keep doing. They got a good running game going. 2 good, bell cow running backs that are ready to go whenever they need to. Tyreek's doing insane. Decent defense. Mahomes is looking really good. They're number 2, best team in the AFC.
All right, Dylan.
I got the Steelers at 2. I like what I'm seeing on that defense. They got some dogs. Watt, Fitzpatrick, Gideon Williamson. They looked fine today without him. That Bengals team beat the Titans last week. So right, the Bengals beat the Titans last week, right?
A couple weeks ago, I think.
A couple weeks ago. Okay. So that Bengals team is no slouch on offense, and they weren't able to get any.
With a rookie quarterback,
had an all right day.
I do agree with you, but with a rookie quarterback, I don't see how you can really take that serious. He's a little inconsistent right now. He does lack weapons, so he did look good, that one game. But Burrow, I don't know if I believe in him right now. I think in a couple years he might be decent, but I don't know if you can really call that a good.
I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say they're a good team or good offense, but I mean they beat your AFC representative, the Titans, 2 weeks ago. And the Steelers held them to 7 points today. So they're my number 2. Big Ben looked like a 2010, 2009 Big Ben today. 4 tutties, spreading the ball around. He looked good. A little worried about the run game, but Steelers are my number 2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I agree with you, Dylan. I have Pittsburgh as number 2 as well. Their defense is so good. I don't really see any weak spots there at all. I think they're probably the best defense in the league right now.
Easy.
TJ Watt, monster, my favorite for defensive player of the year, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I love them. As Dylan mentioned, the only concern really is their run game and maybe kind of a bona fide number 1 receiver. Maybe Chase Claypool's turning into that, or he will be in the future. But I think that's probably their lack right now at running back, and maybe a number 1 receiver on their team. But other than that,
I don't know. They got 3 good ones, though.
They have very good receiving. They're not going to have a number 1. They just have a very well-rounded receiving core is what it comes down to. They're not looking for that number 1. That's what's good about them is that's what scares defenses because they don't know who the number 1 is. They got to pick who they're going to put their number 1 cornerback on and hope that the other 2 don't go off.
Kind of like Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the only thing is I think you kind of need to have a go-to guy in the playoffs, the way I see it. So maybe that could be Chase or Deontay. It could be either of them, which is kind of a scary thought, but we'll see how that plays out.
I like Juju. Juju's if there's a number 1, it's Juju, and I think he can take over in the playoffs. Claypool's got some time to grow and learn, but I think it's Juju right now.
All right, number 1.
Dylan, who do you got for number 1? I want to hear this.
No question about it. It's Kansas City Chiefs. They were on bye this week, but they got the best quarterback in the game. They got a great offensive skill set around him. 2 running backs that are solid. You got speed on the outside. You got Kelsey in the middle. This offense is scary. Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it before. He's Superman. And that defense is getting better. They'll get better just like they did last year in the second half. They'll crank it up when they need to. And until somebody really shows us how to stop Patrick Mahomes, they'll be the best team in my rankings every week.
Fair enough. I had them at 2, so I understand that for sure. They have a great offense. For me, though, I have the best team in the NFC, and it's the Saints. And what it comes down to is, Drew Brees did get hurt today, and they still beat the Niners, a very bad team this year with all their injuries, unfortunately. Hate to see that. But Drew Brees got hurt. Before that, his QBR was really good. He was supposed to have a really good game, a really good second half there. Rib injury, I'm not really too worried about it. X-rays are coming soon, so we'll see. I'm not worried about that. Michael Thomas hasn't been on the field at all this year. So this game, he didn't show up too much, but in the future, he will be showing up more. They're a threat. They're so good. Kamara's insane. He might be the best running back in the league. Michael Thomas adds so much to that offense, so much flexibility, phenomenal defense. They're the number 1 team in the league.
Yeah, I respect having New Orleans there, but I agree. I've got the reigning champs at number 1. I just think Patrick Mahomes, best player in football, in my opinion, still, even though he might not win MVP this year. Their offense is just so unstoppable. Got a revenge game next Sunday night against the Raiders, which I'm excited to see because that was probably their only weakness, defending against the deep pass, which Derek Carr kind of exploited a little bit with Henry Ruggs, Byron Edwards, and Nelson Aguilar, 3 pretty fast guys. So we'll see how they kind of recover from that. But I love the Chiefs. They're my pick right now to win the Super Bowl.
Respect that. Respect that a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Same here.
All right. So to move on, we're going to go to a division recap. Division that's been pretty tightly knit so far. A lot of teams that have been on some weeks, been off some weeks. So Dylan, let's start with you. What do you think of the NFC West right now? How do you see that shaping out?
This division is something. I really like the Niners entering the year, but like PJ said just now, they are hurt. They're beat up. It might be time to rule out the Niners. Probably is. But you got 3 teams sitting at 6-3 right now: Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks. I got to go with the Rams as my favorite right now. They got the best defense. They can run the ball. Jared Goff's a question mark, but I think if you got the defensive player of the year on the NFC side, Aaron Donald, Ramsey, that's a good duo, can lock up any number 1 receiver. I got the Rams. The Cardinals, I like them a lot. I'm just not sold yet on Kyler. Makes a lot of dumb mistakes, but he can make the heroic plays. He's incredible. I'm not a fan of the Seahawks, though, at all. That defense is terrible. Russell Wilson's got to do everything. No run game over there. I see the Seahawks getting 3rd in the division this year.
I could not disagree more. Wow. I do. The only thing I will agree with you on is the Niners. They are out of this, and we hate to see it. Hope Jimmy G and Kittle have a speedy recovery here. We hate to see injuries in the NFL. So I don't know. They did come in looking good. But we'll see. They did held their own against Jameis Winston in the second half, so there's a little bit of a bright spot. Obviously, it's Jameis, so you never know. But I think Seattle's winning this. Russell Wilson is MVP caliber. DK Metcalf looks really good. If Chris Carson comes back, that offense opens up some more. They have a little bit to work on the defensive end, but I think they'll be fine with Jamal Adams, taking over. At number 2, I think the Cardinals are taking number 2. Kyler Murray showed that he can come up in the clutch when he needs to. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is going to catch a lot of those crazy passes because he's a phenomenal receiver. But with that weapon, you got to put him at number 2. Their stock went up today for me. They're really good in the clutch. The Rams, I don't think they're as good as their record shows. Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. It's crazy to think. I don't think they can run the ball like you said. They don't have an answer. Yeah, they're running back by committee, and that that's a little bit of hope for them because they got a couple running backs there. But I don't know, man. Their defense is it hasn't been as good as it was in the past. Aaron Donald is still depoy candidate. So I mean the Rams Cardinals could swap, but I think the Cards got it ahead of them. Seattle's winning the division.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the one thing you guys said for sure, 49ers are probably out of it. I feel for you 49ers fans out there. I mean, having the Chiefs come back in you guys last year when we thought we had it. And this year with all those injuries to Kittle, Garoppolo, Bosa, just really tough all around. Wish you guys the best. Hope for you to come back next year. But this division, I've seen people label it as the best division in football, which I think is false. I would say it's the most competitive division in football, though. I just think there's 3 teams that are slotted to make the playoffs right now, with the Rams, Cardinals, and the Seahawks. We'll see how the Rams do. I'm hoping my Bears pull out of it, but I like the Cardinals to win the division right now. So I'm kind of glad we all disagree there because it makes for a more fun and interesting conversation. I just think Kyler Murray has been just so good. He's been this year's Lamar Jackson from what I've seen. I like them to finish number 1. And I think they have probably a more consistent defense than Seattle. That's what puts me ahead of them right now. But I do have Seattle coming in at number 2. I think it's probably a toss-up between them and the Cardinals right now with Russ playing so well and their receivers. And at number 3, I have the Rams. They've just been inconsistent. Seattle's the worst passing defense in the league, and Jared Goff didn't even put up that great numbers from what I saw today.
Thank you.
So I don't love them. I think if they do find a way to squeak it in the playoffs, they're definitely a first-round exit in my eyes.
With the Cardinals, I don't think they're winning that division. And for me, it really comes down to the run game there. Is Kenyon Drake has proven that he is not with the amount of money he's getting paid, he's not that quality of a running back. Chase Edmonds, with him out right now, Chase Edmonds is taking a lot of carries.
Oh, he played.
He played?
Yeah, Edmonds is healthy.
I don't think Edmonds played. Sorry. No, I meant Drake. Drake did not play. Am I wrong?
Drake played. No, he played. He had a fumble today.
Point is, Kenyon Drake is not that good. He really isn't. So I think that's their flaw. I think Kyler Murray, yeah, he's gonna throw some good balls. He's looked good. He has looked good. I'll give you that. But what's gonna happen here in the future is they're gonna stop caring about the Cardinals' run game, and they're gonna plan for the pass game and shut down DeAndre Hopkins, and their offense is gonna be stuck. That's what it comes down to. I think they'll win a few more games and be second, but that's it.
I was just looking at the Rams schedule. They got a pretty tough end of the tough year, the rest of the year. But like you said, Nathan, I could definitely see the Cardinals taking this one. Kyler is electric. I'd like to see him make a few less mistakes, but that's bound to happen with a young quarterback. And I don't know. You can put 2 guys on Hopkins, but it might not be enough. I mean, we saw today 3 guys wasn't enough today.
I get that for sure. But if they game plan for that, they'll shut down the passing offense. And then when the Cardinals are forced to run the ball, they haven't been that effective this year. So,
yeah, the one thing
you go ahead.
So we did see it last weekend with them against the Dolphins. Byron Jones did kind of shut down DeAndre Hopkins. So we'll see how it goes. I love him as a top 3 receiver in the league, maybe the best one right now.
I don't disagree.
We'll see how that goes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be an interesting division to watch. I could very easily see both of you guys' predictions coming out on top. It's like Nathan said, it's a very competitive division, except for those Niners. Got a feel for the Niners fans right now.
Yeah.
So PJ, out of curiosity, who do you think is the best receiver in football?
Well, see, I would say Michael Thomas, but I'm going to rule him out just because he hasn't played this year. I think I would say, Hopkins is probably number 1 for me. Number 2, I'm giving it to Devontae, and 3 is probably Julio. That's my top 3. I think it's fair. Devontae's been really good. D-Hop has proven that he is still insane, just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. For me, I gotta say Julio, Hopkins, and Thomas. I don't care how you put them 1, 2, 3. They're all 1s in my eyes, and then I got 4 as Devontae. But those 3 are just incredible.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Patrick Mahomes had somebody like that to throw the ball to. That'd be a sight to see.
Tyreek's no slouch. I mean,
yeah,
you got Kelsey.
You got Kelsey.
Kelsey, Tyreek. I don't think he can complain right now.
Yeah.
I think they do.
All right, so for our last segment of the night, we're talking about defense, and most importantly, the Defensive Player of the Year. It could be a competitive race. We'll see how it goes, but I think there might be a front runner right now. Dylan, what do you think?
Yeah, Aaron Donald is my front runner right now. He's incredible from an interior line position. 9 sacks on the year. I believe that's tied for first with Myles Garrett, also has 9 in Cleveland.
I think so.
But just what he can do from the inside, and he's a game changer. I mean, you got a game plan for him. You can't let him get one-on-one because he is just gonna destroy that matchup. Takes 2 guys every play just to handle him, and his impact on the game is unmatched. Nobody can match that impact in my mind.
Fair enough, and I respect that. He's very good. But for me, I think it's the 9-0 team right now, and you could argue TJ Watt, but I think it's Stephon Tuitt. He's been really good this year on the line. 6 sacks, 31 tackles, 7 tackles for losses. Hit the QB 7 times, and he even has an interception and a forced fumble. He's been really good. They're 9-0, best defense in the league. I think you got to give it to him. His stats might not show it, but he's leading that team, or helping lead that team at least, to potentially an undefeated season. I looked at their schedule. I don't see many games where they're losing. They beat the Ravens already. They play them again. I think they can do it again. 16-0 is a possibility for them. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, Stephon Tuitt's definitely a beast, and I think he's probably the vocal leader of that defense. But from a voter's perspective, I think people are more attracted to statistics. That's why I'm leaning towards TJ Watt right now. So I have him, obviously Wisconsin boy, so I love him. Great player all around. Showed it today with those 2 sacks. Just a dominant player like his brother was. He seems motivated this year to go out there, get it done. Just he's a force. I love the way he plays.
I'm finally happy to see the Watt brothers healthy. JJ's playing this year. They're both playing. That's good to see. The pairs, they're all healthy. Love to see that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what we have for our show tonight. PJ, you got any closing comments before we let people go?
I mean,
Interesting.
This is simple. You do want to hear this. Well,
I want to hear this.
I'm preaching to a choir right now. I really hope I am. And it's as simple as this. I got one statement for you. The Green Bay Packers are fraudulent. That is it.
All right, Dylan, you got anything to say?
Yeah. I really hope Captain Kirk goes out there tomorrow night and puts 260, 280 yards on you guys, maybe 2-3 touchdowns. It's a long shot, but I'm praying to God Captain Kirk has a career game tomorrow night.
Oh gosh, no! I see 4 interceptions in Kirk's future. That's what I see, and that's about it.
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. I can't deny it.
All right. For the record, this is being filmed on Sunday night, so my prediction for tomorrow: Bears 17, Vikings 13. That's what I've got in a close game. Defensive match.
Bears 24, Vikings 10. There it is.
Vikings 26, Chicago 20.
All right. Well, there you have it. Our 3 predictions for Monday night tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you again this time next week. Bear down, and I'll let you guys go.
We like that. See ya.